on how that fire is moving. So we're just trying to give them enough time to prepare in case we do show up and say it's time to go.
Deputies are going door to door, urging residents to be ready in case they have to evacuate as a massive wildfire burns in the Monsanto Mountains near the 4th of July campground. That's about 5 miles northwest of Tehique. The big concern is the wind and where it could spread the flames. That wildfire can be seen for miles. It has burned about 150 acres so far.
Numerous ground crews are on the scene battling this doghead fire from the ground, and aerial tankers are also in the air as well as 2 helicopters fighting it from above. That is where we find pilot reporter Bob Martin, and he joins us live now from Sky News 13 with what he is seeing from high above this fire. Bob?
All right, we just watched Tanker 911 drop an enormous load of retardant on the southeast side of the fire. That's where we are. We're about 6,000 feet, 5,000 to 6,000 feet above the south side of the fire here. It's about a mile long, moving not too quickly, but it is definitely moving through the forest about 7 miles south. Let's tilt down to the fire. We're about 7 miles to the northwest of Tehique, the village of Tehique out here. And the fire is moving from the northwest, or correction, from the northwest of Tehique, kind of in a northeasterly direction. You can see a orangish tint to some of the trees down there. That's where Tanker 911 and several other air tankers have been dropping retardant since noon today. A lot of helicopters working this, a lot of ground crews down there cutting fire breaks around the edges of this fire as it continues to move through this area. Back to you. Marissa, actually out on the ground, Marissa Lucero.
Yeah, guys, and we're standing here right now with Public Information Officer Arlene Pareja, and we just got word, Arlene, that there now are evacuations.
That's correct. The Sheriff's Department, the Torrance County Sheriff's Department, has just issued a evacuation order for areas that are northeast of the fire area. That would include areas locally known as La Para Road, Camino del Norte. Areas that are, folks that are in those areas are being currently asked to evacuate.
Okay, and you know, as far as this fire, this is a pretty big one that we're looking at. Describe to the folks, how are crews on the ground in the air attacking this thing?
We're definitely working it with everything we've got right now. We've got lots of air resources, including heavy air tankers that are dropping fire retardant. We're also using lots of helicopters. As far as ground resources, we've got lots of engines up in the area, as well as bulldozers that are working on anchoring the fire and just trying to flank it and get around it as quick as they can. The air resources are working more on the sides and in the front of the fire, trying to slow it.
Okay. And areas of concern, what is our concern? Wind right now?
Definitely the wind and the heat. We know that this is a tough day to be fighting fire just because of the heat, and we expected that. We've got it predicted for the next few days, so we know that we've got a tough road ahead of us. The wind is right now pushing the fire primarily to the northeast. It's not just up and rolling right now, but it has made significant gains throughout the day. We estimated earlier about 100 acres, but we're assuming it's grown quite a bit since then.
Okay, and as far as any possible containment, what are we looking at?
Right now we don't have any containment on it. We're hoping that the evening and into the night will give us a boost as far as weather, just cooling temperatures and possibly bumping up humidities just a little bit.
Perfect. All right, guys, well, we'll bring you more information as it becomes available. Back to you.
All right, Marissa, thank you. And as was mentioned, the warm temperatures and the winds are making it tough for firefighters on the ground.
Let's go to Mark Ronchetti as a look at the weather trend for firefighters.
You guys, it's not a great trend here in the near term, especially over the next 24 hours. So tonight could be a very big deal in getting at least some foothold on what's going on. Here's the look from downtown. And again, this fire is pushing out this way, away from the Albuquerque area, but still there is plenty of fuel to work with this particular fire, and the overall fire conditions are not great. We're around 85 degrees in the fire zone, west winds 10 miles per hour, but the gusts are at 23 miles per hour, and those gusts are likely to go up tomorrow, as will the temperatures, and we'll continue to see very warm temperatures in place. What we're looking at over the next 24 hours are wind gusts 30 plus miles an hour in the Manzanos and areas surrounding the fire. So this is going to continue to fuel that fire with additional ability to be able to spread in a pretty significant way here. So coming up, we'll take a look at your full forecast here. We'll break down exactly what we expect to happen over the next few days, but this is not the ideal scenario because high pressure is building in, and that's going to mean extreme heat.
Of course, we'll have more on those evacuations later on in this newscast.